Welcome to TeenBRAVE. Each episode we'll be talking to an expert on issues that teens face. We will also be talking to you on the street to get your input as well. In this episode we'll be talking about porn addiction and whether or not porn is good. So let's kick it off.
We speak to tens of thousands of young people every single year, and this show is about their stories.
What's your views on pornography? Do you think it's good, healthy, normal? What do you think?
I think it's very present in this age, but I'm not sure about the long-term effects. I'm not too sure about it. I think it's good.
Do you think teenagers viewing pornography is a good idea?
Not at all. And I think a lot with I watch them, so I'm a hypocrite. But all the TV shows like Game of Thrones and stuff, everyone's so used to it now, they're not really challenged.
It's something that it depends on individual to individual, but it does have a bad effect, honestly, in my personal opinion.
I think you got to understand that if you see it, you watch movies and you don't take them for seriously, it's sort of like, fantasy for some people. But as long as you don't let that dictate your actual relationships and how you treat women and how you see women, then I don't see too much of a problem with it. It's just when you start letting that dictate the terms of your life, that's when it starts becoming a problem.
I was reading some research recently from a psychologist suggesting that if you wanted to create an addiction that would reach the most amount of people in any given society, there is a test you can put the substance through to see how successful it would be. It's called the 3 A's. Number 1, is the substance accessible? Number 2, is it affordable? And number 3, is it anonymous? Any substance that has these 3 attributes would be labelled the perfect addiction. So for instance, is heroin the perfect addiction? Well, number 1, is it accessible? Well, probably not to most. I mean, in your average high school, I don't know how many young people could pull out their phone, hit speed dial and have heroin by the time they got home from school. I mean, maybe some, but not many. So not very accessible. Number 2, is it affordable? Not really. I mean, some might have enough money to get it once, but unless you're into some kind of serious crime, you're probably not going to be able to afford that on a regular basis. Number 3, is it anonymous? Again, not really. I mean, if your friend rocks up at school tomorrow on heroin, you're going to notice, right? You see, heroin is definitely addictive, but it's not the perfect addiction. It's not accessible to most, it's not affordable to most, it's not consistently able to be used anonymously. Let's put pornography through the same test. Number 1, is it accessible? Yeah, it's more accessible than it's ever been before. It is now actually easier to access pornography than to avoid it. I mean, if you have a 3 or 4G handset, the reality is if you wanted to, you could access pornography 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I remember finding a kind of questionnaire that was, are you a porn addict? And I went down the list and I ticked every box, and I remember sitting there going, man, how did I get here?
This is Jason. He struggled through a porn addiction and now runs a website helping others through similar struggles.
I really started just looking up celebrities and stuff, not even trying to look for nudes or anything. I hadn't kind of thought that far, but obviously it progressed. It became addictive behaviour, so I started kind of dabbling in it, and then it became more of a medication for me. And so what happened for me is I was addicted to that high.
Number 2, is pornography affordable? Well, yeah, it's affordable. It's either free or very low cost, so it definitely ticks the affordability test. Number 3, is pornography anonymous? Yeah, you no longer have to go into a shop and look at someone in the face and say, I want the porn. I mean, that's way too embarrassing.
You can kind of get away with it without anyone knowing. I'm sure someone out there is probably logging it, most likely the government or something.
Most viewers would watch on their personal handset, their tablet or computer, so pornography is anonymous.
The average age within Australia that teens are first exposed to pornography is now 11 years of age. Do you think teenagers viewing pornography is a good idea?
No, it's not a good way to go. I think that's just a terrible thing.
Probably 11 is probably a bit young, but at an age it is helpful.
Yeah. What age do you reckon that would be?
14, 15?
Yeah, 14.
Well, I have sisters that are 12 and I don't think they've ever been exposed to pornography, so I just can't imagine a child that young looking at it. And if they were, I don't think that's a good thing.
I think it gives really wrong ideas and they expect a lot more from it.
That's ridiculous. No kid should be seeing that. So 13, 14 is probably the most often time that it starts, and I think that's a natural thing. It just happens.
At the age of 11, I don't even think you should even think about that. I don't even think that's your childhood. You're still a child.
I don't think it's good though. I don't think pornography is a good way to learn about things.
Yeah.
Not at all. I think that's what your parents are for, aren't they? That's where I learn everything.
Sex education at school. That's where
Yeah.
Did you girls get sex education at school?
Oh yeah, we blew condoms up and punched them around the room. That's what we did. That's what we learned.
So would you say that sex education was helpful in school?
Definitely.
Maybe a little, but I probably learnt more from my friends or my friends' experiences than I did in sex ed.
Do you think teenagers viewing pornography is a good idea?
No, definitely not. It sets such a bad image for what it should be in the future, and just it's not real.
It's a definite negative, but at the end of the day, I'm addicted, and I'm sure there's countless others, but being able to say that you're addicted is the first step.
We can see that in our society today, pornography is the perfect addiction. It's so accessible, it's so affordable, and everyone thinks it's anonymous. With pornography now fulfilling this test, should we be worried? Or is it just the harmless fun it is so often pitched as? If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, share and subscribe. Also, check out these other videos on issues we've covered. For more information, visit TeenBRAVE.com, or you can follow us at TeenBRAVE on our Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter.